Hello everyone, this is Davidnator12 here and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a bit of a check-in, a little checkpoint after being gone for a while. For all my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fans, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you, just hang in there a bit longer. Once the Steel Ball Run anime starts airing, I'm planning to cover that, and I'll also be jumping back into the JoJo lands as well. But for now, I just wanted to talk about Zenless Zone Zero, and specifically the new characters releasing in February, the Angels of Delusion. If you've been living under a rock, the Angels of Delusion are an underground band made up of Suna, Nungung Yu, and Arya, 3 performers chasing the dream of becoming idol singers. What makes them special, and honestly why people have been losing their minds, is that they were leaked before ZZZ even launched. We've been waiting a long time for this faction to show up in-game, and they're finally here. Water Kuma, you're actually just the GOAT. Now, it's not really a surprise that idol characters are dropping in February. You've got Valentine's Day, you've got Chinese New Year, and let's be real, idols and love kind of go hand in hand. But I think what makes this interesting is why they land so well right now. We're in a time where love feels, let's say, complicated. It's easier to hate. People blur fiction and reality, and everyone wants connection but without sacrifice or effort. So today, I just wanted to gush about the Angels of Delusion. Not just because they're cool, but because they kind of represent this idea that even if your dreams feel like delusions, they're still worth chasing. That love, whether for yourself, your art, or others, can actually be a power source, and maybe something meant to be shared and not hoarded. One thing ZZZ has always been good at is appealing to those of us who grew up in the 2000s, the Y2K era, as I like to say. The music, the aesthetics, and the ideas, it all pulls from a lot of different influences. And yeah, of course you can't have a gacha game without idol characters, if Uma Musume taught us anything. But what's interesting about the Angels isn't that they're just idols, it's that their designs, themes, and stories feel very intentional, and they're arriving at a really important point in Zenless Zone Zero's history. Let's be honest, guys. Season 2 has been rough. The decline in character writing, designs, skill expression, and overall direction from 2.0 onward has left a lot to be desired, even with some exceptions. Add in questionable redesigns, endgame changes, and things like Monato being in A rank, and yeah, 2.0 to 2.5 struggled to keep a lot of casual players invested. That said, unlike my previous video, I want to be optimistic here. I genuinely love this game, and I want to see it succeed. So, let's talk about Angels of Delusion gameplay. Since launch, the community has been begging for more team-up supers and faction-based abilities. We saw it once with Kaleda and Ben, and then absolutely nothing. Until now. All 3 Angels of Delusion have shared idol and EX animations. And honestly, it's big! My favorite detail is that, just like Jufufu's idol animation, the dance loops and it can go on infinitely. And on top of that, this is our first hub idol animation, which is such a nice touch. As for 2.6 overall, I think it's a really strong shift back toward the urban aesthetic we had in 1.0, and that alone made the update feel refreshing. Now, many people think that Suna, being a semi-off-field support which introduced more Aether Veil mechanics, and Arya having simpler lower skill gameplay, think that they're kind of boring. But honestly, what matters most is how fun they are to play. We've already learned from characters like Banyue and Shungus that visuals and gameplay alone don't carry a character long term. Fun does, especially for players who stick with the same units for months. It's pretty clear the devs are leaning toward easier gameplay for mobile users. And I don't think that's a bad thing, as long as there's variety. Different skill ceilings, different playstyles, and enemies that actually engage with the player. At the end of the day, it really just comes down to variety and fun. Story-wise, I actually really enjoyed how Angels of Delusion were handled. Each member had equal narrative weight. Arya in the 2.6 story, Suna in the main event, and Yu in 2.7. We didn't just learn about the characters, we explored themes like prejudice, self-worth, friendship, love, and camaraderie. The message was pretty clear, to be honest. You're appreciated and loved, even if you don't see it yourself. Love shows up in unexpected places, and it's powerful enough to carry us through our darkest days. To sum up my thoughts, I'll borrow a quote from a pair of streamers talking about patch 2.6. When they don't really try too hard, they end up making their best updates. But when they overreach, the cracks start to show. And honestly, exploration is the biggest example of that. I'll be blunt. The Season 2 exploration just isn't working. As someone who 100% completes the areas, the optional exploration adds very little to the overall experience. The spaces are big, but are mostly empty with low enemy density. And the rewards just don't justify the time spent. Personally, I think ZZZ should abandon large-scale exploration. Instead, take the puzzle elements from these locations and integrate them into smaller areas like from what we saw in Season 1. That would save not only storage space, but make gameplay more engaging. I'd rather wonder what boss is coming next than just walking through an empty map following a waypoint. If exploration has to exist, I'd limit it to one major area per season, with smaller connected zones, secret bosses, or hidden puzzles through fissures. Before wrapping up, I just want to throw out some future locations I'd love to see in this game. We've already hit Los Angeles and Hong Kong, but let's get weird with it. Let's go to Neo Tokyo. Let's go to Brazil, the moon, Australia, hell, even Antarctica or the Caribbean. I just want something different compared to all the other gacha games. And one last idea. Why don't we use the metro? Those underground areas already exist for 6th Street and Lumina Square. Why not turn them into like a beat 'em up style minigame? Or like a side scroller that we always do on occasion. I'm just saying. Anyway, this has been me blabbing about Zenless Zone Zero for way too long, but I hope you enjoy it. Remember to love yourself, your neighbor, your enemy, even the people you hate, because without love, we wouldn't even be human. Be on the lookout for more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure content, and this has been Davinator12, signing off.